Welcome to Fundraising Well's The Successful Board Service series. In this edition, we'll be exploring the duties of care, loyalty, and due diligence. First, let's understand what is strong governance. Strong governance is not simply about compliance or checking boxes. It is truly about building trust, accountability, and driving performance. In building trust, we see the board and executive director move with more transparency and predictability. And in achieving accountability, the board is asking hard questions and providing support for the executive director, and vice versa. And driving for performance allows us to build strategic partnerships that move measurable impact for our mission and our organizations. From this, we can see that strong governance needs partnership. As board members, it is our obligation and our duty to partner well with the executive running the organizations on which we serve. When we build strong partnership, other operational values come to life. Through strong partnership, we build trust. And with trust comes better communication. And with improved communication, we achieve levels of transparency that allow for full accountability across all levels of the organization. When all of these values come to life, the greater organization benefits, and we see outcomes like better fundraising, stronger staff retention and culture, more resilient strategic planning, and a clear conflict resolution and decision-making framework. For all of this to happen, we must understand the foundational duties of care, loyalty, and due diligence. Let's start here. The duty of care. The legal definition is that board members must act with reasonable care and attention. They cannot treat their role casually. What this means in practice is you're expected to attend board meetings regularly. You are expected to read materials before the meeting, not for the first time when arriving. You are expected and encouraged to ask informed, thoughtful questions. You are expected to bring your best judgment to deliberations and to stay informed about organizational finances, programs, and strategic direction. You will see here in this last bullet, staying informed requires strong partnership with the executive director. But it also can't all be placed on their shoulders. All of the above bullets allow them to keep you informed. That next duty is the duty of loyalty. The legal definition here is that board members must put the nonprofit's interests first. They must avoid conflicts of interest, especially those of financial self-benefit. What this means in practice is that board members are expected to disclose potential conflicts transparently before they become problems. Board members are expected to recuse themselves from decisions that directly benefit them or a family member. They are expected to honor the organization's mission above all personal agendas, to respect donor intent and restricted funds, and to not use the board position for personal business advantage. The third is the duty of due diligence. This legal definition requires board members to ensure the organization follows all applicable laws, regulations, bylaws, and governing documents. The organization must honor its charitable mission at all times. What this means in practice: ensure all federal tax filings are completed accurately and on time. Comply with state charitable solicitation and reporting requirements. Follow those organizational bylaws, policies, and governing documents. Make sure the organization's activities align with the stated charitable mission, and maintain proper corporate governance and records of the organization. You're encouraged to check with your state, whether it be the Attorney General's office, Secretary of State's office, or a charities bureau, to understand what are the legal compliance mandates that you and your fellow board members are expected to follow. Here in New York, here's a simple spreadsheet with some additional requirements for all board members to note and be aware of. You are required, if you have a budget of more than $500,000, to have an annual audit by a CPA. Annual audit is an independent review of your financial records by an outsourced CPA or CPA firm. Internally, you would build an audit committee. This would be a committee from your board formed only by independent directors. If we look at the lower portion of this slide, we'll see the definition for independent directors. These are not current employees nor any individual who has received more than $10,000 in compensation in the past 3 years who are serving on your board. You can go further and have additional policies within your bylaws or governing documents to determine further characteristics of what constitutes independence. It's a good idea that the majority of all your board members be independent members. This is not to say you cannot have staff serving on your board, but it is a good idea to have a majority of independent directors on any board. We at Fundraising Well would recommend that 8 out of every 10 board members should be independent directors. Some additional items on this slide are the whistleblower policy, the conflict of interest policy, and that audit committee. There are other requirements. We'll get into those in future sessions, but these relate directly to the duty of due diligence, so I wanted to cover them here briefly. Now that you've gotten familiar with the 3 duties of care, loyalty, and due diligence, take a moment to reflect on your organization's board of directors and on your own board service. In the past year, where have you or your board excelled in the duties of care, loyalty, or due diligence? What are you doing well? What has allowed you to perform those functions well? And if you feel you've been struggling or feel uncertain, what is one action you want the board to take regarding your duties of care, loyalty, and due diligence to help move your organization forward? Thank you for viewing this session of the Successful Board Service series. You can always visit our website at www.fundraisingwell.com for more information or to book a consultation.